third round. Let's move on to the third round. This could be a fun one. Real quick, third round rules. This, by the way, final round with the last four panelists. So the top two obviously go to the final round in a winner-take-all matchup. But a great take gives you 800 points, a good take 400, an okay take 200, and a bad take 0. So we had two NFC contenders show up and flat out show out, starting with the Dallas Cowboys waxing the New York Giants by a final score of 40-0. It's been a bad last 24 hours for New York football. Good Lord. But the Cowboys defense looked unbelievable. They got a touchdown. Cowboys special teams got a touchdown. Offense played kind of conservative, kind of because there was no reason to play aggressive, given the fact that the defense was playing so well. Daniel Jones had a rough night, was pressured all day. But Dallas with a dominant 40-0 win, and the San Francisco 49ers beat by the way, have you heard, guys, a very good football team in Pittsburgh. They may have not showed it, on Sunday, but listen, watch out for those Pittsburgh Steelers. And San Francisco came in and just absolutely waxed them 30-7. I watched every second of that game, and as a Steelers fan, it made me quite upset, but I was happy to a certain extent for my man sturdy Brock Purdy. That's neither here nor there. Starting with you, Alfred, who had the more impressive showing? Was it the Cowboys against the Giants on the road, or was it the Niners against my Steelers on the road?
I'm going to go with the Cowboys, and I'll tell you why. Number one, the Cowboys had the most lopsided week one shutout victory in the history of the NFL on Sunday. They won 40-0. Now, why is that significant? Because all preseason, all I've been hearing, especially living in New York, from all these Giants fans is, oh, our team is improved. Coach Daboll this, Coach Daboll that. The defense is better, blah, 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 blah. And what happened? The Cowboys blanked them and put up a 40-burger. What's even more impressive about that is that, yes, we all predicted the Cowboys were going to win, but not even the biggest of Cowboy fans thought that they were going to beat them by 40. Now, the 49ers, impressive showing. I know Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy both had great games, but at least the Steelers were able to go out with some pride and score at least one touchdown. The Giants couldn't even get a field goal. Not to mention just the way that that whole game went down. It made Giants fans who were praising Daboll all offseason long and all preseason long look at Daboll like he was crazy, because in the midst of a blowout, you still have your quarterback out there who you just gave this big extension to, playing meaningless snaps. If he would have got hurt, Daboll probably would have been fired the next day. So I don't know. I just felt the Cowboys, and it was a divisional game, and they probably demoralized the Giants to the point that I heard on different radio stations throughout the day, yesterday and today, that the Giants fans are questioning if their season is over already because of that slacking that they took. So I think the Cowboys' dominance was more impressive than the 49ers.
Well, listen, Cowboys beat a team that made the playoffs. San Francisco beat a team that almost made the playoffs. So, the level of competition on the road was not just some slouch. Go to you, Dolphin.
Mind you, divisional
what's
game
that?
Away in prime time.
Yeah, so the familiarity is there, and that, Steelers, AFC, NFC, so you had that sort of situation there. To you, Dalton, do you think the Cowboys had the more impressive performance, or your favorite team in the world, the San Francisco 49ers, had the better performance?
Yeah, I don't like the Bay, but it's the 49ers. To me, I feel even more validated by the fact that a lot of Alfred's argument was, I live in New York. I've heard from New York fans a lot. They fell flat on their face. No, from a national perspective, the answer is absolutely San Francisco. The numbers back it up, too. Niners 5.9 yards per play. Cowboys 4.8 yards per play. Niners outgained them overall by 135 yards. The Niners offense played better than Dallas's offense. I mean, Dallas's offense had, you could argue, a below average game. Now, I get it. Part of that's game script, but that's also part of why that game looked the way it did. You don't like I'll put it this way. As a bettor, I don't change my rating on a team because they block a punt and run it back for 6, right? As a bettor, we look at turnovers as a relative random thing over the course of 1 year to the next. Now, I'm not saying Dallas's defense wasn't great. It was, but the reality is you get 2 turnovers for touchdowns in the first couple minutes of the game. That changes the way the rest of that game goes. Now, look, Dallas kicked their butt. I'm not taking anything away from that. But San Francisco, all of their scoring came from their offense. Pittsburgh didn't have a first down until the second quarter, I think. It was at least a couple drives.
It was right at the 2-minute warning. Yep.
Yeah, so to me, San Francisco was dominant in a way that is more repeatable to me. You can't count on blocked punts, on block kick for touchdowns repeating themselves. You can't count on pick sixes repeating themselves. Now, look, we're splitting hairs here. Both of these were incredibly impressive. But if you were to ask me who I was more impressed by, for me, it's San Francisco.
That's interesting, and I do see the Steelers as a better football team than the New York Giants as well. So I think that's an interesting component of it as well. To you, Dalton, and try and be as at least objective. I know the Steelers are involved, but at least try and be objective here in this segment. Not just bash my team for the next 2 minutes. But who is more impressive, the Cowboys or the 49ers?
I think you meant Devin, right?
Devin. I apologize, Devin. My bad, Devin. To you, Devin.
Whew. Well, you already know where I'm gonna go at. Just for you, calling me the wrong name now. At first I'm gonna have
to dock some points on myself. My bad, Devin. That's on me.
Gotta add me some points, one or the other. But no, and for real though, I think the 49ers had a better outing to me because simple fact that number one, we all had questions about Brock Purdy. Is he a real legit quarterback? Can he actually lead the 49ers back down to the conference championship again? Number two, they just traded Trey Lance away, who they felt like Sam Darnold. If Brock Purdy goes down, Sam Darnold is the backup guy who can finally lead the 49ers better than Trey Lance. So, and then the third thing is that I hate to say it, the Steelers have a better defense than the Giants. I expected T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick to actually show out in this game, and they didn't. I felt like they didn't show up at all. I don't even think T.J. Watt even recorded a sack that game.
What? He had 3 sacks.
Yeah, I'm playing with you, Bryce, man.
Yeah, man. You got me there. Okay.
But yeah, man. I just felt like that the 49ers went up against a better defense, and the way how they put a spanking on, and then y'all total yards was total up to 1 yard at one point, man. But then that was like a long stint of a game. So I felt like the 49ers really showed up, and Brock Purdy answered some questions. So I'm going to go with the Niners.
Listen, Brock Purdy did answer questions. They weren't coming from me, okay? Because sturdy Brock Purdy is the real deal, and he's going to give the 49ers a true opportunity to win the NFC. By the way, I did pick the Cowboys to win the NFC, so listen, I think both of those teams obviously have a shot. To you, Barry, our resident Dallas Cowboys fan, or dual fan, you're a Jets fan, and a Cowboys fan. He denies.
I am not.
That's okay, debatable. But you're big on the Cowboys. You love Micah Parsons. You love that Cowboys defense. Did you think they had the more impressive performance over the 49ers?
Absolutely not. I mean, they're playing the Giants. Who the hell gives a shit about the Giants? The fact that Captain Small Hands was being hyped all off season. Nobody cared about the Giants. Nobody even gave the Giants a chance. So let's go ahead and talk about the 49ers. The 49ers, I'm a big Brock Purdy fan. I think Brock Purdy is a sound, solid quarterback, great IQ, knows how to command that offense. We talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers being one of the top 5 best defenses in football. T.J. Watt got free. He wreaked havoc in the backfield. But at the end of the day, that offense was still able to move the ball. You saw Christian McCaffrey dominate the running game. You saw Brandon Ayuk get free, and they just let loose. So the game plan, the play calling, Shanahan dialed it up. They executed well. They beat the hell out of the Steelers. It was a more impressive performance from the 49ers. I'm not saying that the 49ers are better than the Cowboys. That's another argument. But we're talking about better overall performance from week 1. You have to give it to the 49ers. They prove that they can be able to withstand a great defense, even get some pressure. Brock Purdy was on his ass a little bit, but they were able to withstand that and still be able to dominate a football game. So shouts to the 49ers for that, but that's all I'm going to give.
Yeah, they play well. No, that was that was a really bad 3 hours to start myself. First game as a Steelers fan, and my team gets shellacked 30-7. That's
love it.
Love it. Serves me right. I guess it serves me right. For switching teams. But listen,
at least you weren't on the wrong side of history. So
I don't know about being.
You're always on the wrong side of history.
Yeah, you were, especially last night. Let's go to some.
Won last night. What are you talking about?
And you won the battle. You won the battle. You lost the war. That's what happened, Alfred. I'm sorry to tell you. It's just not good. To point totals. So let's see. Alfred went first. Let's go to Alfred. A solid take. It was a solid take. The only reason I gave you a good take is because you were talking about Brian Dable might have gotten fired the next day if Daniel Jones got hurt. I think that's a bit too far. Brian Dable's an excellent coach. He's established. He's he's as beloved in New York as Fat Joe. I mean, everybody loves Brian Dable. He's the man. So listen, you got to give Brian Dable some love there. To Dalton. Good take on your part. I gave you a good take, which by the way gets you to 1,000 points. The spoiler alert will get you to the final round. But I think the simple fact that you mentioned the fact that the Cowboys can't repeat this. You gotta realize the Cowboys, I think, have led the league in turnovers the last 2 years. So they're a team that have gotten back-to-back years. Dan Quinn's teams tend to be a bunch of ball hawks, and Trayvon Diggs didn't even have an interception. He was playing good coverage, and listen, he played well. To Devin. Good take, but when you start taking shots at T.J. Watt and at the Steelers' defense, you're talking about San Francisco's more impressive, but then you take shots at my defense, okay? Be consistent, Devin. I'm sorry for messing up your name, by the way. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's on
Yeah,
me.
you gotta give me 1,000 points for calling me the wrong name.
1,000 points. Okay, you're getting greedy now. I don't know about 1,000. It's sorry, it's not enough to get you the final round because Barry Grant Jr. is our leading point getter going the final round. He's going to take on Dalton. Barry, great take. You gave my Steelers their love, but I think you also made good points in that. Listen, Brock Purdy's a lot better than people give him credit for. You got Ayuk, you got Debo, you got a lot of playmakers in San Francisco that could really give even the best of defenses like Pittsburgh some real problems. And San Francisco's once again going to be back in the championship mix. So